Greetings, GameCola faithful, and welcome back to more Dragon Warrior.
Walking around behind the king and the princess.
Yep.
Just meandering back and forth behind the throne, and they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
the world is in crisis.
Just pacing back and
you're
forth.
the hero, I guess.
Yeah. I'm a lycanthrope now, apparently, after dying to a werewolf, so
Yeah.
I'm just
You've
debating.
just been prowling behind the throne.
Yeah,
Dad, what's that
basically.
weird growling back there?
Oh, don't mind him. It's just the warrior of.
Yeah,
It's just
descendant of
it's just
Erdrick.
It's just the dragon warrior.
Yeah.
Descendant of Erdrick.
Oh.
Beautiful.
We've made it this far, and we've talked about Final Fantasy, and we haven't mentioned Here Lies Erdrick.
Oh yes. So
Was that? I thought that
in-
was. I thought that was a Zelda 2 thing.
in Elfland in the original Final Fantasy for the NES.
Oh,
There
really?
is a grave. There's a bunch of graves, and you can
Yeah.
examine the graves, and they don't give you anything particularly inspiring. But there is one grave that just says, "Here lies Erdrick." And I saw that after playing Dragon Warrior, and I thought it was the funniest thing.
That is pretty hilarious. I thought they did something like that in Zelda 2. There was like the
I think
King's
you're
Tomb.
right. And I forget about what it was.
Well, it's
Sorry, so I
Just
believe
briefly
that-
on this point, in Final Fantasy Restored, which I talked about much earlier, they retranslated that, and it was "Here lies Link."
Huh!
I think
You're kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking about. I knew that there was another one.
That's funny.
Which I think Erdrick is funnier because it's a much closer match to the game that you're playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, tying things back to a discussion from the previous episode, Nathaniel, you were talking about movies with atmosphere, and I
Yes.
do not consider myself to be a big movie buff. I really just don't go out of my way to watch movies in general. But John Rizzi very strongly recommended that I watch the original Blade Runner, so I bought that on Blu-ray, and that is
John Rizzi for the GameCola unfaithful being another staff member.
Yes.
Stuff member.
And that movie might be the most atmospheric movie I've ever watched.
The soundtrack alone is superb.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And actually, if we're talking about atmospheric video games, Nathaniel, have you ever tried the Subnautica games?
I am aware of them, and I looked at it, and I thought, I don't know. Like, I love underwater theming. Like, space stuff is my favorite, then underwater stuff is my second favorite. And this is true in video games and just in general in life. But something about it is like, I don't know if this is the right game for me.
That's fair. I personally very highly recommend it. Like, obviously there's a lot of kind of a exploring, and there's also kind of a crafting system there, which, I understand those kinds of games aren't for everybody. There's a big heavy crafting component. There's like a base building component. But a huge amount of the game is exploring this foreign water, basically completely covered in water planet. And again, there is sort of a horror aspect in that, in most areas, certainly there's a few hostile creatures around, but it's not necessarily that, if your light goes out, something's gonna pop out at you. It's really just you are in this water, you are, it becomes nighttime or something or other, and you can't see the bottom, you can't see the top. You just have this little flashlight to light your way, and you have to explore this world, and you're slowly growing accustomed to it as you play more and more, until eventually you become very familiar with the area, and then it's more of an exploring this very cool alien planet. And I don't know, I really find the whole experience very good. I've said this before gosh, probably on this thing, on this playthrough. I definitely did it on a podcast recently, but the first game was a little bit more atmospheric in the sense of the player character was sort of a silent protagonist, whereas in the second game, the player character has a voice and talks and has their own intrinsic like story motivations for being there and for visiting this world and for what they're trying to do. And there's a lot more talking in general, which take it or leave it. I don't think it's necessarily worse for ambiance to have characters and dialogue. But if we're talking about just the experience of you are alone on this alien planet and you're exploring and figuring out what the heck is going on here, it's a really, really cool experience in my opinion. I think you might enjoy it.
Might be worth a second look then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you've looked at it, but by all means, at some point, if you were curious, I could certainly stream it and show it off and see if it strikes your fancy. Because, kind of a try before you buy never hurt.
Sure. Now, do me a favor.
Yes.
Could you talk? Just use the talk command. I don't think I've brought this up yet, or it's been mentioned, but sit on that talk screen for a second.
Okay.
There is no one there. Is in quotes. Everything else that happens in the game, in battle, all of that, the hit points have increased, all of that, not in quotes. That is. So that is your character telling you, there is no one there. What are you doing to me?
Huh. That's such an interesting detail. I wonder if what happens, I don't think, because the spell, trying to cast a spell when I don't have the MP, I don't think that was in quotes. So that's curious indeed.
Yeah, stop spell that.
Yeah. Get stop spelled.
Why I love movies traces back to how I interacted with them growing up, because my dad's a big movie guy. If I wanted to hang out with him when I was still living with my family, a lot of the time it was, let's sit down and watch, he's flipping through TV channels or he's sitting down to watch a movie. And so a lot of our bonding time was in front of the TV. And obviously, we did other things, but that was a big one when we were at home inside. Like, that was the go-to activity, was just sit in front of the TV and see what's on, flip through channels. And I got an appreciation for a wide range of movies of different decades, different genres, because he watches anything. And I got that exposure and seeing, there's some really interesting things. And not everything's for me, but I got a lot of exposure to it of saying, there's some cool, interesting stuff there. The other thing is that I had friends who were into movies, and all throughout, especially high school and college.
I don't think you need to use another one. I think you can.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess with Erdrick's armor, yeah, I'll heal up.
Yeah, and also that the next time that you get a couple of hits, then you can use heal more. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Saying?
We're listening, Nathaniel.
Yeah, that's okay. So a lot of my friends in high school and college specifically were also interested in movies. And in fact, one of my friends, his dad has a home theater, like a proper home theater with the nice cushy seats, the armrests, and the big screen on the wall and everything. I have been friends with people who would absolutely do movie marathons, and I have absolutely done several movie marathons with friends for birthdays or just for the heck of it. I've done, at the time, all 6 Star Wars movies, the 3 original Lord of the Rings trilogy extended edition, watched the Lethal Weapon movies over the series of, I think it was 2 and 2 across 2 nights, done just so many marathons or get exposure. I went through the Rocky movies, I went through the Planet of the Apes movies, just anything that could be marathoned or could be watched in close succession over the span of a few days or a week. Those were just fun bonding activities with friends. And then when the Marvel Cinematic Universe came into being, and you had Iron Man and all of the sequels before even the TV shows came into the picture, those were events where my friends and I would go out and we would see everyone in the theater. And my wife is interested in movies as well, so there's a lot of things that I will go to see that she will go to see with me, or vice versa. So I have just been surrounded by people who enjoy movies, and it's been such a big social part of my life that it's just as important to me as video games. And I didn't realize that until joining Letterboxd and starting to log everything and realize, wow, I've seen a lot of movies. And I have even forgotten a whole bunch of ones or only seen bits and pieces of them. And also going into college, doing some of the classwork that I did and getting exposed to different films. I was a Spanish and religion major, and I took Spanish throughout high school, and I did that in college and did my religion courses in college, and there's a lot of cinema that you consume if you take those classes. So I got into Hindi films that way. I got into films from any part of the Spanish-speaking world, and that continued to help expand my horizons as well. The library at my college, and the library, my mom's a children's librarian and has been for ages. The library that she used to work at had a very good, robust DVD collection, and I would just, over the summers, I would pop in, and I started a project at one point. I started at the letter A, and I just went down the line picking out every movie from the library that was either culturally significant, like The Godfather, or something that everybody was talking about, like Fight Club, or that just, was fun and something that I would watch for myself, like Batteries Not Included. And I made it as far as Hotel Rwanda before that project ended and I moved on to another phase of my life. And I've continued that, just pushing forward, getting more cultural exposure, different kinds of thinking, different time periods, different places, different people, different directorial styles, different actors. I love that movies are a window into different experiences of every different kind. And any form of media is. Books absolutely are. Video games are. Everything is. But movies are a very specific way that I can easily get that exposure in a condensed time period. It's not 15 seasons of watching this television show to get the full experience. It's not 80 hours of this video game. It's not, 12 hours of reading this book. It's here's an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours tops, and I have experienced an entire world. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. That's a good point. It still has to be a lot more. Wow, this dragon is...
Yeah.
Good grief. It took a lot of...
I also want to...
Oh, 18,000 exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Jetty, you want to stop for a second?
Yeah, use Radiant. Sorry. Because you've gone backwards. You're going backwards.
Oh, okay. I've gone the wrong...
Yeah, you went... I think it's one of those staircases that, multiple ones kind of lead to the same general area. But, you went up into this staircase earlier. I remember because, I was going to point out, but we were talking about the chest that's there in the center that we have yet to encounter.
Yeah, and that's what I'm... Okay.
But no, I agree, is that I've come to Oh!
What?
You didn't heal to max. There is a limit.
Oh, did I not? Really? Huh.
You healed to 93.
Oh,
and you
interesting.
Had 7.
Although that may have been a difference between healing in combat versus out of combat, because I know some games do differentiate. Example, the original Final Fantasy, there's about a 10 hit point difference.
Okay, I know where I need to go now. Now, if I do fall, I know a more optimal path to get to the place I want to go to now.
Oh, yeah, because I think you went down and around or something.
Yeah, which I didn't need to, because that just ended me up at the staircase in the middle. So, really, I need to go up into the top left.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Oh, right, sorry. I was saying that I've come to value movies because, man, I cannot watch TV shows. There's so much to watch. I just don't have the time for it, right? Like, looking at an anime and being like, oh, 52 episodes, or then imagine trying to watch something that's like an American TV show that has like 300 episodes.
Yeah. And the thing with anything that's currently airing is how long am I going to be attached to this, and is it going to be worth the investment? Like, if it's a show that's already aired, you can get the public opinion of, oh yeah, the first season's rough, but it just keeps getting better after that. Or, yeah, just watch the first 2 seasons and then bail on it if you're not liking it. Like, you can get opinions and have a better sense of what you're in for. But anything that's brand new, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this.
And then it gets canceled. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
It's a big commitment. Yeah, so you it's like buying a new live service game, and then you discover, oh, it's Concord.
Yes. As we talked about, or I guess as you guys talked about in the most recent podcast.
This was
here.
Okay, down. Go down.
Down.
Yeah, Yep.
Okay, stairs.
Yep, stairs. Yep, don't talk to them. Just go stairs them. Stare at them.
Stare at them.
Okay, yeah. And not yet. Okay. Yeah. No.
And now I just beef it on the way there.
Do that. Yeah, somehow we end up dying. Hey!
Yeah, all right.
What do you think it is? What do you think is in
Erdrick's sword.
No, not Erdrick's sword. The Erdrick sword.
The Erdrick sword. Maybe now people will believe me. Now I can go talk to the person in coal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But first we should die.
Well,
I'm sorry. What I mean is we should grind a little bit more and then find a natural stopping point to go talk to the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
106 attack power now. Oh man.
That is sad though.
What was it before?
Because it's Erdrick's and then some silver shield.
Silver shield.
Yeah, well, we need to equip the token as the shield, clearly. 26 damage.
We never got a physical description of the token. For all we know, it is shield sized. We've been just rolling this enormous coin in front of us the whole time. They could have been protecting us.
I'm still waiting for it to reflect lightning.
Oh, come on.
Because I would really like to not have to do...
I mean,
stop
we're
spell.
doing pretty good damage, right? 28, like, oh, come on. You got this, come on. No. Okay, yeah, the next hit's gonna get him. Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go, yeah.
Yay. Well, why don't we go left?
Okay.
Sure.
Or have I lost where we are on the map?
Yeah, going left would return us to where we just came from. As in, like, from the sword.
I think what you mean is once we get out of the...
Yeah, once we have an option of a split path again.
Something we haven't done, yeah. Before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before. In college, a friend of mine, my roommate, had me watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, which, like,
I just did 40 damage
on a regular hit.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, it wasn't an excellent hit. It was
Well, it was a previously excellent hit, now downgraded to average.
Wow.
And yet it didn't matter. We still got crushed.
Yep. Ow.
Which, I mean, I had seen Star Trek: The Next Generation before, but I never, like, sat down and watched it. But we watched, like, the season premiere and the season finale of every season. Like, we watched, like, the first 3 actual episodes. Then it was, like, critically acclaimed episodes, like real deep lore episodes, and then the season premiere finale of every season. Which, takes it from, like, what, a couple hundred episodes or whatever it was going for, like...
Yeah, down to a very manageable number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, at that rate, it's pretty good, right? The same thing with, the X-Files, right? They're hour-long episodes. Like, the concept of hundreds of hour-long episodes, It's not happening for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. You have more to say.
Not really.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go on about it.
Sure. A series that I've been really getting into. Whoa!
Is Dragon
One of the coolest designs in the game, as
Yeah,
far as I'm
that's
concerned.
awesome.
right?
That's really cool. All right, this.
And he really does not want you to use stop spell because you can't even see your cursor.
Yeah. Ow, hurt more. Yes. Okay. All right, 16 damage, not too bad. A series that I have really been getting into, the suggestion of another one of my first personal friends, is Columbo. Which that's not like that's not a show with a lot of continuity or really any continuity. So it's kind of I can just pause watching it whenever I want and then pick back up anytime I have that's convenient.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
70 experience.
Wow.
That's pretty good. And so that's been a really fun show just because of how unique it is, in the sense of it's not a whodunit murder mystery show, but the wonderful term I found that was coined is how catch 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which-
I heard that, yeah.
All right,
No
I'll heal
relation to
more here.
Ash.
So it's just a really good show. The acting is very, very good, and it's all just kind of that tension, the dramatic tension of what's going on here. What the heck is Columbo doing? How is he gonna get them?
Yeah. Whoa.
So, I think you can probably see where this is going to end.
Yeah.
So we can absolutely keep poking around, but I would have a recommendation of maybe we don't interact with that conspicuous character over there before exiting, saving, talking to the dude.
Yep. Oh, Red Dragon.
The other dude, not that dude.
Yeah. It's the Dragonlord.
What happens if you walk into the water?
You just die instantly.
Well, you don't have any oxyale, so you can't go anywhere.
Sorry, I was just.
Ow, all right.
remembering-
You know what?
Just
I am
fight
all
him.
out of
No.
healing.
Yeah, just fight him. Yeah. You got
Pow.
it. Boom, he's dead. Right? Come on.
Yeah. 100.
That's pretty good.
So talking
Yeah,
about
let's see.
atmosphere here, just entering this area and all of a sudden it's light again, and you can immediately see, wait a second, maybe that's my end goal. And feeling again like you are not in a dungeon, but back properly in a castle, with the water around here really implying that you're deep down here now.
Yeah.
Like I just, and now you're 6 feet under, you're so deep.
Yeah.
So I appreciate again the atmosphere change here that really jars you awake, and it's like, oh wow, this is the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do.
Do you want to save?
Yeah, save here. So now we can talk to the guy in Cole. We're only 353 experience away from a next level up, and I feel, excuse me, I feel like as we mentioned, it seems like, at least from a perceptual standpoint, that there is a level-based scaling in terms of the difficulty, like more than just the stat
Herbs?
changes. Oh yeah.
Or are we gonna buy
Well,
them
we
in
can get
Coal?
them in
we
Cole.
can get him in coal. Yeah.
It feels as though there is additional scaling based on level discrepancy beyond just what our individual stat changes would do in a vacuum. At least that's how it feels to me. So I am excited for the potential that a level up will bring. This is going the wrong way. I need to cross the bridge first.
Sorry. Yeah. Also, when we're like 6 steps away from town and we're like, herbs, we've gone too far. It just reminds me of the beginning of Harold and Kumar.
What?
Should I get my phone? We've gone too far. They're like down the hall at the beginning of the movie. Oh man, what's he gonna say? He says the same thing.
Finally, thou hast obtained it,
Yes,
GameCola.
We have. We hast.
That's
What?
it. Great.
Thanks.
Great. All right. I have proof.
Please.
No, it's
No,
not
come
sufficient.
Rude. Why? Why?
Great.
I like that functionally that dude is there to at least hint at the fact that there is
exists.
one more thing that you haven't gotten. And if you make it all the way to the foot of the Dragonlord, and you're like, but wait, there was that dude in coal who gave me a task that I never finished. Let me go explore some more. Like, maybe you'll find the sword that you were missing. But I just love that the payoff is not a payoff.
Nope. It's complete anti-climax. That was a little bit lame.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have the sword, and that's what's important.
Yeah. I was also going to say on the topic of movie marathons and so on, I think we mentioned it on the podcast, but that Joseph Martin of GameCola.net, podcast commander, he came over to my house to watch the solar eclipse. We drove out and saw the solar eclipse that happened a couple of months ago, several months ago at this point. And one of the things that we did is we had kind of an impromptu movie night in which we started with one of my favorite movies, UFOs Are Real, which I think you were there for that.
Very
James?
topical.
Sorry, is it gonna come out if I? Whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Where do you press that thing to make it do the thing?
Oh, are you gonna do a soundboard
Soundboard
thing? Yes,
function?
that will come out in the recording.
I mean, is that good or bad? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
I
You
won't
tell
know
me.
until
Is
you
this
push the
something that
button.
you're not gonna want to be on the recording?
Oh, there it is. Open soundboard. I mean, I guess you can.
Brace yourself. It might
Oh,
be
is this
loud. I don't know what it is.
is this the clip of hell no and don't ask
hold on.
me again?
Yeah, here it goes.
Is that where that came
Hell
from?
no, and don't ask me again.
All right, I don't think that's gonna come out very well in the recording over the video game music.
I don't even hear
That's
anything.
fine.
Where did that come
Should I
from?
play it
Because
again?
I want to know the original source
Okay.
of that clip.
Yes. So on Tubi, one of the first times that I open Tubi, I just see this movie, UFOs Are Real, and I'm like, yes, I want to see UFOs Are Real. It's from like 1978.
Wow.
And like, it takes itself so seriously when like back then there was so little evidence, right? It's like entirely hearsay at that point. You know, they're like showing, you know, it wasn't quite, you can't say like, oh, it's obvious hoax material back then, because back then there was so little information that it was possible to believe it, right? And yeah, so that was what we started with, is that one of my favorite movies is UFOs Are Real. Just like the name of the movie makes such a statement, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna need to hop onto Tubi and add that to my watch list.
Yeah. If it's no longer available, I did just download it.
Okay.
But yes, that was the beginning, and then after that, we watched Mad Max, the original.
Okay.
You got to find out why Max was angry, and then
You didn't start with the prequel, Amiable Max?
Is this
mild-mannered Max.
the Fast and the Angry?
Yeah. And then as sort of a palate cleanser for somewhat of a depressing movie, we watched Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. In the end, like,
That was
quite
my
an
favorite
odd-
VeggieTales movie.
Wow, that's a good one. I wonder if they ever made that joke. Probably not, but
What we have learned has threatened our life today.
so yeah, like A bit of an odd mix of movies, but it was quite a good time.
My wife and I have a long-standing tradition. We've been doing this for years now. New Year's Eve, we do a bad movie marathon.
Ooh.
We look at everything that is on any streaming service we have access to, plus anything that might happen to be on our DVD shelf or VHS shelf, but I don't know that we've ever actually included any of those in the rotation, but they're up for consideration. But yeah, we look at everything that's on the queue that is expiring, and then watch those. And then after that, if there's any time left, watch everything that looks terrible that we put on there, and we're like, why did we put this on there? Which one? Who put it on there? I didn't put it. Oh, I didn't put it on there. And it is traditionally one of my favorite parts of the year.
Oh,
that sounds
done well.
Do you happen to level up? Do you happen to watch a lot of Mystery Science Theater 3000?
I've watched so much MST3K.
Oh, I just recently got into it. Wow, power increased
the original
by 12.
and the revival.
Yeah, I backed the like season 13, I think it was, like whatever the sort of homebrew revival after the Netflix revival. That was pretty cool.
Nice. Wow.
All right. Yeah, lots of improvement there. Oh, what was I gonna do? I was gonna say I haven't seen a lot of MST3K, like just in terms of like what I had time to watch, but
I think you don't need to use an herb. Come on.
All right.
Just hit once or twice, and then more.
Yeah, but I did get one of their DVDs that they sell on their site, and so it was like the 4-pack. And my favorite one there is from Lost Continent. Yeah, that was awesome. Lost Continent. And one of my favorite gags is when they're all up in this plane flying around. They're looking out the window. It's like multiple people looking out the window with binoculars. And then they make this joke a couple times, and it gets me every time. Is, oh, I can see my house from here.
Yeah.
and then they cut to the people in the cockpit going, "You ever fly one of these things?" "No." and then they start going down, and he goes, "You ever crashed one of these things?" "Nope." But that's one of my I don't watch bad movies typically, but I do enjoy watching MST3K riffing on the bad movies. Oh, and I just remembered, this is a complete other tangent unrelated to that, but speaking of movie habits, we used to have a cabin up in Lake Tahoe here in California, sort of on the Nevada area, Nevada sort of California border there. And every time we would visit, we would bring with us our DVD, because we didn't really have any kind of internet or anything there. And this was also, 10, 15, 20 years ago almost. But we would bring with us a couple movies on DVD, and we would always make it a point to, every time we went there, every year, we would watch Revenge of the Pink Panther on DVD.
Yeah.
And that was sort of our little rituals, because we'd always have to watch that movie every time we visited the cabin. So, which just now that movie's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
It's funny how many, even if I don't remember the full movie, or even if I didn't like the movie all that much, it's funny just how many quotes or scenes live rent-free in my head from across everything I've watched.
Oh, yeah.
And have absolutely made it into my lexicon.
Yeah.
Yep. That's definitely happened for us. A couple even from that movie, from Revenge of the Pink Panther. He's pretending to be like a sailor as he's talking with an informant, and he's all dressed up in a disguise with like an inflatable parrot on his shoulder. and he starts as he walks away after getting the information from the informant, he starts singing 16 chests on the dead man's rum, yo ho ho, and a bottle of the chest. We just start cracking up at that every time. And then he goes, drink for the devil and dumb for the rum. Oh, which point he just doesn't, he isn't looking where he's going and he falls off the end of the dock.
I do think I'll have to have a GameCola movie night where we watch UFOs Are Real. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, I do wonder, I haven't checked the stats on our Nausicaa watch through.
Gosh. I feel like I'm making some significant headway here. I'm feeling really good.
We're doing excellently. Like, look at our MP, right?
Yeah.
What a
almost
difference a
feel like-
level makes.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we're gonna do heal more. But
Yeah.
like, I think this is the first time I've cast it.
Yeah, right? No, I feel like, well, okay, we have to keep in mind that at the bottom level, they have a new set of monsters,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. But I know how to deal with the armored knight. Casting stop spell was really a
Left.
good idea. Yeah, left here.
Yeah.
Maybe hold off on Radiant until you actually need it.
Okay,
Because right now you're just going in a straight line.
that's true.
And then we get back out into the area where we don't need it anymore. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you may
bam.
even be able to get by with a torch if needed.
Couple
Yeah, 'cause-
ammo. You know, we were talking about like quotes and stuff from things that we've watched that like live rent free in our head. But since I watch so much YouTube, that's where I get a lot of my sort of internal lexicon. I have also, Nathaniel, gotten my sisters infected with the one song you sang during your Mega Man 6 playthrough. The oh gosh, who was it? Was it Talking Heads? Or was it it was the I think it might have been. It was and you may find yourself
Yep.
Yeah.
using a
That's Talking
blizzard
Heads.
attack.
Yep.
And then of course I also occasionally just think of Flash. Because whenever I hear that, I just think of your rendition of it. Just Flash.
So, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in Make a Good Mega Man Level 2, there is a voice acting cheat. Or, I'm sorry, it's a Flashman 85 cheat, which is my alter ego. That's where you can find me on Kitsu and Letterboxd and everything is Flashman 85.
Yeah.
That pulls my voice clips. So, when you use Flash Stopper, it goes, Flash!
Yes. And I love that. It's like, now we've unlocked Centaur Flash. We've unlocked Centaur Flash. Stop doing that. Oh, man.
Those were so much fun to make, and I am a different person now than I was. My life is different than it was at the time. But
Ouch! My life
That's why-
almost ended.
It was
87. Okay, so
Wow.
there must be a big.
That's
I
the
guess
worst-
the range of this spell's
Right.
effectiveness is. All right, I'm just gonna start attacking this guy because.
Yeah.
Oh, and now of course he goes for the magic.
That wasn't such a bad hit. Oh, come on.
Oh,
Wow.
but that's a
Oh,
problem.
heal more. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Are you kidding
What?
me?
What? Come on.
Ow! All right.
we found the final boss.
Yeah.
Here I thought that we were about to just end the game.
There we go. Finally.
Well, if you look at it this way, it expands our opportunity to learn one last spell before we fight the Dragonlord.
Yeah, I suppose so. Ouch.
But I would like to... I have plans to get back to my video series.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going the other direction now?
I
Did we get
think
turned
I'm
around?
still. I don't think
think-
so.
I
I hope not. Anyway, I might need to
I feel
use
like we were
radiant.
moving up, but maybe I'm making that up.
Ow. Yeah, because like stop spell is kind of a. There we go.
Yeah,
All right.
required, yeah.
Yeah, that would be. And you know, here's a question I've been curious about because for example, and when I first got to GameCola, ouch, I was in significant pain. But no, when I first came to GameCola, and I think this is a similar story for several people that I've talked to that came in around when I did, which is it came in from hearing you plug GameCola in your Mega Man videos. And it makes me wonder, I don't think I've gotten turned around. Have I? But these stairs go up.
Yeah, you were going down when your light went up. Yeah, we definitely got turned around. Go back the other way.
The wrong way.
Yeah,
so much for not casting Radiant.
Womp womp.
Well,
yeah.
It was fine. It was just we didn't all have a hunch that we were going the wrong direction. It was just one of us. So we're like, well, let's follow this through and see where it goes.
Oh, but what I was gonna ask, Nathaniel, is how did you get your start at GameCola? That's a question I've been curious about, because obviously a lot of us got our start through finding out about it from your videos.
I started writing for GameFAQs, or Game FAQs, as you may prefer to pronounce it. And I was writing reviews of the Space Quest games, and was doing just a little bit of writing, not anything too intensive, just a handful of articles, and submitted some screenshots, and was just being active enough, something that was filling my lunch breaks at work. And Paul Franzen, the editor emeritus, I believe is the moniker that he goes by, the founder of GameCola, found my work and reached out and said, hey, I have this website, would you be interested in writing for it? I like your work. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And the rest is history.
It's pretty cool. Which is funny, because speaking of Space Quest, I think that was what I submitted to Jetty. I emailed him in my application, was like, give us an example of your writing work. And I had been writing a sort of my own, I guess you could, it was on like fanfiction.net or something or other, was my own personal like retelling of the Space Quest 1. And that was what I used as the material I sent to be like, hey, here's an example of my writing. Here's like a semi-humorous take on the Space Quest series. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And this is it pays to have saved up some keys. I also like that this design in the tile work kind of vaguely maybe looks like a key. And I also like that it kind of vaguely resembles what I remember the Dragonlord looking like. That sort of like a crest, like almost a dragon head of sorts that we're looking at here.
Interesting. I hadn't even thought of that. That's kind of cool. All right. Take.
So, I had two thoughts. Yay, the herb.
Yay.
One thought was, we can sell it for lots of money.
For very little. Oh, a magic key.
But we actually can sell that.
Ooh.
Whoa.
570,
and it gets you like 100
which I will
odd,
promptly lose.
Yep.
Oh, door.
Door. What?
Yes, let's discard the cursed belt. I think it's like worth 10 gold.
No, cursed belt is, I do believe it's like 100.
Okay, well, oh, interesting. Well, yeah, this does look
Although
like kind of a design,
there's
doesn't
also
it?
like a cursed. Maybe I'm conflating that with the cursed amulet. I believe there's one like randomly shows up in one of the treasure chests rarely, which we did not see.
Interesting.
But I think it was in Garen's grave. But that one is worth a good amount of money. Cursed belt is still okay cash.
I think it was the cursed belt before that we got. Wasn't it?
Yeah, but we put it on and then we removed it. We didn't actually sell it.
Well, we got a second one and then we dropped it because we were at the bottom of Garen's tomb.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
One thing, I had two thoughts. The first one was, I unless I just zoned out or was looking at the map or something when we did it, I think we missed the funniest room in this dungeon.
Oh, yeah?
Where one of the staircases you go and it's just a straight line, and you go into the hallway, and then you go stairs and it's a straight line into the hallway, and then stairs, straight line to the hallway. And after a while you're like, when am I going to get to the next floor? But then you notice that the music doesn't change like it does everywhere else. And then you backtrack once and you're at the start of the whole thing again.
I just did triple-digit damage on an excellent move there.
Superb.
Nice.
All right, how do I get to the Dragonlord here? I'm not seeing any obvious
the long way.
path.
Yeah,
Go
we
the long
haven't gone
way. All
to
right.
the left, right? Yeah. And I do have a feeling that we're going to basically get there and then die. But
Probably. Assuming we even get there.
We are also well on our way to the next level, right?
Yes.
I
What
do
was the other
believe
thought?
The next episode is going to be the last one.
We will make it the last one, even if we die and say, well, the king didn't pull us out this time.
Yep. Womp womp.
It kind of looks like a heart or maybe a shield.
Or a heart-shaped shield.
Mm-hmm.
Or a shield-shaped heart?
Oh.
Would that be a... I don't know what you'd call that.
And I love that we have sand now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like we're back on the overworld. And that's another sort of architectural wake-up call of, like, something is different here. Like, this is your don't just zone out and wander. Like, something big is about to happen. Yay! We were talking about Space Quest. We were talking about how we join GameCola. What did we talk about after that?
I don't know.
It's probably not super important, and I will probably forget it by the next episode, and that's okay.
All right,
But there was something that started a conversation topic in my head. I wish I could remember what it was.
Yeah.
Man, UFOs are real. The UFOs that I've been seeing.
All right, this might be the end of me. Nope, your spell is blocked.
Nice.
Okay. I don't think we're gonna quite make it to the Dragonlord. No.
Yeah, almost.
Hang on.
What? Oh, you just want to make it? What? Oh, come on. You can't get away from me that easily.
There's not a lot of room to run, honestly. Like, the wizard didn't have to try hard to catch up.
What?
Okay, now wait. Stop. Quick save, please.
Okay.
Yeah, there's something good here. I think I know what Nathaniel's gonna...
I think you know indeed.
Yeah.
All right, take him on. Confront him.
Yeah.
Welcome, GameCola. I am the Dragonlord, King of Kings. I have been waiting long for one such as thee. I give thee now a chance to share this world and to rule half of it if thou wilt now stand beside me. What sayest thou? Will the great warrior stand with me? If I say no, does he say... If I say no...
Think why I just asked you to save.
I know, but if I say no, will he go, but thou must?
That would be hysterical. This sounds like an offer you can't refuse.
Oh, yeah. I'm about to die. Really? Yes.
Yeah.
If thou dies, I can bring thee back for another attempt without loss of thy deeds to date.
That's so funny. What? Oh, man.
Wow.
So, congratulations on ruining the world's one chance of getting out of the Dragonlord's grip.
What happened? Do I have to reset now?
You have to reset the game.
Okay.
You don't even get the dignity of dying.
What happens if I do?
I do appreciate that he's like, oh yeah, and you can save with me just like at the king.
Okay.
So, yeah, I like that it's like, nah, I just decided to take the evil route. I chose the renegade path this game.
All right.
Oh, also, so sorry, note that he's facing downward, but then when you talk to him, he faces you, which implies that he's sitting in his throne, like...
sideways.
He's
lounging.
Laying across, he's like laying across the armrests.
But functionally, it's more it's easier to tell what you're looking at when he's not facing sideways. Thou art a fool!
Oh, look, he's...
A Dragonlord. He's not even the Dragonlord, he's just one of them.
Oh, he did exactly enough.
Exactly.
Wow. This guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, there we go. We failed in our quest. It's the last episode, guys. The Dragonlord should not have taken the GameCola. Oh, my goodness. Well, hey, that's some serious progress. That last trip down in there, I mean, we had some stumbling points, but overall, that felt a lot smoother. And we're only 1,500 to the next level.
Yeah.
So we're at leveling is almost becoming easier because now we can start fighting these stronger monsters that give us like 100 gold a pop, or 100 experience a pop, I should say.
And I think that's actually kind of clever game design because by the time you get here, you've run out of stuff to do. So if you are still not able to survive to the end, it helps the player to make that threshold for a new level be exactly the same, and you're getting stronger and it's just faster to get to the next level, to speed you along and not just have you grinding endlessly. So even though there's a lot of grinding in this game, the game does give you a couple opportunities of trying to negate the pain of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. Do I want to try and make one more run or call it here? We are getting about to that time.
I think we can call it here.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I think we can make another excursion. Jetty, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that we can get to the castle and then call it there.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Head to the Dragonlord's castle. All right.
Yeah, just get some herbs.
Yes. It's nice that there is a stock of herbs in the bottom floor. So nice of the Dragonlord to keep a stockpile of herbs there.
I mean, you're going to need them if you're going to be his right-hand man.
Yeah, that's true. I also did look up, by the way, we were speaking about the cursed belt earlier. I looked up what that did, and I think someone said that it occasionally has a chance of causing your attacks to fail in battle.
Right. For some reason, I had it in my head that it drains hit points with every step. And that was the only thing it did.
And it feels like that's what it should do, but it doesn't.
What a horrible night to have a cursed belt.
That's another NES game that I've heard kind of gets a bad rap, but is actually better than you'd think once you actually go and play it.
That's another one. I have a restored, remastered, some sort of version that I've been meaning to try.
Redacted?
Because I own the original cartridge, and I've played it, but I never stuck with it long enough. But I would be interested to replay that with some improvements.
Yeah, I think there was a ROM hack called like Castlevania 2 Redacted, but also I don't think that's what the word redacted means. Like, I think the whole point is that it gives you more information and makes NPCs say things that make more sense. And because I watched a full playthrough of that, and someone was specifically not looking anything up, and they were going, well, let's see how long I can play this game before he runs into, I think he uses the TV tropes term, a guide dang it moment.
Yep.
And he was actually able to get a significant majority of the way through the game before he ran into a situation where he's like, I would have no way of figuring out how I'm supposed to proceed from here without looking it up. And one of the main stumbling blocks is a lot, the towns I don't think necessarily give you their names. So there's like also some confusion about what town is what and where do you go from town to reach them. And so as a result, there's like, and even some dialogue gets the names of towns wrong in telling you where a certain thing or person is.
Yeah, there's NPCs that lie to you.
Yeah. Well, and that more than that is that not that there's NPCs who are meant to lie to you, but rather their dialogue was translated incorrectly or it was straight up just mistaken. So...
And let me tell you, as someone who has done game design, especially focused on providing hints for the player and making sure of narrative continuity, it's hard. It's a difficult job,
Yeah.
especially if you're not the one creating everything. Like if you're coming in and looking at someone else's work and trying to figure out their code and understand what they were going for, and depending on what the atmosphere is like are you able to actually reach out to these people and ask them questions? Are you because I don't know what the working environment was like for Castlevania 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I imagine it's not anything remotely like what I had, or had continued to have with Make a Good Mega Man Level 3 and 48 Hour before it, and the stuff that I've worked on. It's hard.
Yeah, like communication, especially when the game came from a different country, is probably extremely difficult in the 80s and 90s. I mean, like
especially as a translator, if you're just getting the text of the game.
Yeah, with
no
without
context
any
whatsoever.
notes.
Yeah.
Why is this shadow being a problem?
I don't know.
We are slayers of dragons. Stop bothering us.
Shadows.
Yeah, seriously.
And slayers of shadows now too.
Yeah.
It's like you get to the end of the game and you're like, I am wiping the floor with the highest level enemies. Why is this little minion giving me so much trouble?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have you ever tried fighting your shadow?
I just turn on every light. Just use. Yeah, it would be hilarious
Radiant.
if the radiant spell damaged that
That
enemy.
would be hilarious. Oh, that'd be that would be such a fun Easter egg in the similar way of I think in one of the Final Fantasy games there was a zombie or necrotic boss, and that if you use a Phoenix Down on it, it kills it instantly.
Yeah.
Okay, just brief digression here before we wrap about translations. Final Fantasy 3-6 for the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
There is a ring where the description is makes body cold. And I'm like, okay, so maybe you're resistant to cold and more vulnerable to fire or something like that. And so I used it, and then the first opportunity I had to see what it did was in a boss battle where the person who was wearing it got injured. So I used a cure spell, and she died.
Yep.
Because makes body cold means turns you into a zombie.
Yep.
And now you're vulnerable to all of the same things undead are. Would have been nice to know.
Classic. So, on that note?
On that
Yeah,
note?
on that note.
On that cheery note.
Join us next time when we optimistically go after the Dragonlord, but have to stretch it to one and more episode because we don't quite do it.
Yep.
No spoilers. Come
That's
on.
the cliffhanger. Is will we defeat them in the next episode? Find out next time.
Because we sure as heck don't know.
Yep, we don't know.